in the game, and it's my pleasure to introduce your first Protoss player of this particular tournament. From Team Roskis, it is the one and only Titan.
And there's a couple of
a mild applause from the Finnish audience. It's not quite awake. I told you, man, he can't get gamers up at this kind of time. It's inhumane. I'm pretty sure there's something in the Geneva Convention about it. Yeah. He is in the green trunks. He is playing Protoss to the northeast, and his opponent, who's already taken one series in this particular group stage, from Team Evil Geniuses in the blue trunks, playing Terran, the one and only Puma.
And just to update people that haven't watched the other stream, Titan, or I don't even know if it was on the other stream, but Titan did lose his first game in this group against WellMu 2-0. So the Finnish player does get a one-up there. And that's probably the reason why we saw Titan, I just want to go in a game and just want to play this game. Because he knows if he loses this game, if he loses concentration for a split second, it's it. That's basically his tournament over. So a very, very important game here for Titan, who has been predicted to be one of the best Protoss players within 2012, has shown a fantastic amount of results previously and last year, but he came into 2012 with an unfortunate lack of results in IEM. He went 0-3 in group stage most recently in Kiev. So not a great start, but we'll see how he can do here against Puma. Titan does have a very good Protoss versus Terran for sure. That
he does. And of course, his first game against WellMu would have been a PvP. 2-0 loss to WellMu. It hurts because really, WellMu is a great player, but he was considered by pretty much everybody to be kind of the lowest tier player in the group. Yeah. And losing to that player, it's a volatile matchup. Everyone knows it. It's a very, very strict matchup. You make one mistake and you can be out of a PvP. Titan needed that win to give him the boost to start him off. So now he's fighting from a horrible spot where he's got to face Puma and then Cass, who played incredibly well in his first game against Puma there. So.
And we do see Titan with his economic focused opening with 16 on minerals only, and then we'll go into gas, as you can see. Just puts one in at a time because he doesn't need to rush up in terms of gas.
Yep.
Because he can very easily get Warp Gate on 50 and then a Stalker on 50, so he doesn't need to go straight up there. But he does take the second gas immediately, but the heavy focus is on his minerals. And then with this build, it's just better economically minerals and gas income overall compared to the standard style. So he will be looking to do something with this gas, so we'll have to follow that. Meanwhile, Puma, on the other hand, throws down the second gas, man. He also has the factory. Everybody knows what this means, especially when coming from the evil genius Puma.
Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming out with this. It begins with a 1. It ends with a 1.
He's got a T-shirt, man. He's got a T-shirt that says 1-1-1 as well. It's his trademark, and it's coming out here. And Titan, will he be able to play against it, though? That is a question. He hasn't started building another unit. Okay, there's a Sentry. So it's gone Stalker, Sentry, then Expansion. And he doesn't want to focus too much on Stalker production here, playing against this style. First of all, he's going to go and scout it with the Zealot. And the Zealot's going to be like, oh my god, all right, here we go again, as every Protoss player says. But I've seen some amazing results from Titan, really bringing Immortals into play with Zealots and a couple of Sentries. So we'll see how he fights against the expert of the 1-1-1.
His indestructible 1-1-1 build, as he described it in the DreamHack finals before having it blown up by Hero. But since then, that really hasn't happened all that much. That build against Protoss, executed by Puma, is deadly. It's extremely hard to deal with.
And there is the starport, gone onto the tech lab, so we'll see if he actually goes cloak. There's different varieties of it, and there is the cloak. You know, he doesn't even need to follow this up because he has stopped marine, well, I should say that he continues with the marine production. He could very easily expand from here. He doesn't necessarily need to go into that aggressive 1-1-1 style. So we'll follow what Puma does. And on the other side, we do have Titan, currently with the 2 gateways and the third one down, and there is that robotics facility. And the timing of it looks like the Observer will get out with Chrono Boost before Cloak, of course, but not before that first Banshee comes in. So he's actually going to have to use, Stalker to defend against that early harassment.
Yes, he will. And currently 1 Stalker out on the field for him at the moment. The 2 more gateways just about to kick in. Warp Gate also about to complete.
Puma.
A sneaky individual, yes. Adds on 2 more barracks after that. He knows his opponent has figured out what's going on, so he's varying it up just a bit.
And yeah, he's just going to go for this 1-1-1 kind of style, not necessarily 1-1-1, but that's kind of the term to describe just this one base aggression, which it is. A Raven comes behind this, which will render the Stalkers useless eventually with the point defense drone, but 3 Stalkers out. If he's playing against this 1-1-1, that's about it. You don't really want to build more than that. I mean, there's the 4th one on the natural. but you don't want to build more due to the point defense drill. But the Banshee comes in, is going to start picking off these probes, and he can't take losses. He's lost 2 probes already. Only a single Banshee, though, with Cloak, and he actually... Does he cancel the Cloak?
No, he's still got
finished?
Cloak. Cloak
Okay.
is available. He has finished it. He's just chosen not to use it just yet, which is a nice little move as well. Why waste it? Because it does have an activation cost. And bring the Sentry down as well. It kills the Sentry, then this is perfect.
Yeah,
even if he loses the Banshee.
He loses the Banshee now, but to be honest, the probe count's actually really high. It's still at 42, or just about to be 42. I've seen, you know, Hero was well known for defending it with just 35 probes, because that's just enough economy, more than the Terran player can achieve on one base. But if he continues probe production, that's going to take away from his overall army value, or has to build more pylons as well due to the probes taking up supply, and it is coming, and he knows it's coming as he has a Zealot on the natural, and he is starting to build the Immortals now. An extra 2 gateways coming down just to produce a lot more units. He's currently at 44 probes. I wouldn't expect to see any more probes in production. He needs to focus on units because his army supply right now is okay, but it could have been a lot higher.
Yeah, good. And once Puma's got exactly the number of units he needs, he will go for it. The Observer pokes in, and it gets a bit of information, sees the Raven, but then has to back off because of the Raven. So I don't think he's got an exact read on how many tanks there are, but he should know at this point how many tanks are probably going to come with this.
And in comes another Banshee to the main base here. It does have Cloak. There is an Observer, but it's at the north side rather than just a little bit south to help the Stalkers. And it does Cloak, but the Observer is there now, and it does come in to help. And no probes killed, which is the goal of that Banshee, is to start to slow that income down, slow the economy down, draw Titan out of position. But Titan's actually looking really good so far.
He is. He's very, very solid against this style. He's obviously thought that it was going to happen, and he will have prepared against this particular opponent.
All right, here it comes, man. The supply depots are down. The Raven's on the move. Let's see, can Titan get into a decent position, start to fight before the tanks are sieged up, really take the fight to Puma and start to continue to warp in. There's a lot of Zealots. There are also a lot of Marines, and will Puma be able to get into position, though? That's going to be the key here, and looks like Titan's going to move down, man. He could go for a flank here, and that is an amazing. He has 1 sentry for a Guardian Shield. He does have a Force Field after. He has a Force Field now as well, but more importantly, the Guardian Shield is going to have to come into play, and he has to try to keep the sentry alive. If the sentry stays alive, it will just bring down that damage output.
So very much, especially considering the vast majority of the damage is coming from Marines. Now, interestingly enough, he does have an aggressive pylon right there and one up the top. Have either of them been scouted? They have not. That could cause all sorts of problems. Admittedly, that probe going up there could indicate that there is a pylon somewhere, but Puma hasn't really responded to that just yet. We'll see if he...
He's ended out Marine, actually, and he's going to pick up one, and he'll probably get the second as well. So both of these will go down, so the counterattack option is not there anymore, and he has to build more pylons in his main base. But he just needs to keep building units. That's all he has to do against this, just keep building units. He has a better income than Puma, he has a higher supply, and as long as he takes a good fight, he should be okay, and he's going to look to take it in the center of the map before Puma can establish position.
I like that. That's really, really good. Limit the number of positions that the tanks can actually deploy. Make him a little bit uncomfortable. And look at that Immortal count. It's about to be on 6. That's a really high number, honestly. Those tanks will melt very, very rapidly.
Yeah, and I don't think he should be really looking to take a fight here, but he can just keep Puma inside his base. And we do see the extra gas has been taken now, because he could actually go very easily to Colossus from here with the extra gas income. He has maybe the time to do so. I'm saying it has, but Puma's still sitting away on this one base, just building up. Maybe he'll pull all his SCVs with him shortly. He's up to 2 Banshees, adding in a couple more Banshees, realizing that the army composition from Titan is really, really good against Marine and tanks, but there's not as many Stalkers. But saying that, more Stalkers have been warped in. It's at 17 now. Whew.
It's a lot of Stalkers.
This is really tough for Puma, man. He scans it naturally, sees that the gases are taken, and still just no units, no tech up coming from Titan.
I would really have liked to see Blink from Titan in this position. I really would. That would have helped him so much. But at this point, he doesn't obviously have that. Now, we have had more Banshee harassment going on, and indeed, actually, Puma's got a lot of them. He's sitting on 3 at the minute. He's going to go straight for the main. We obviously missed one bit of harassment, but this one is coming in, and the work account of Titan did dip, and it forced him to build more probes that he would have preferred to have spent in units, and now he's going to devastate this main base mineral line.
Yeah, he is, and he gets a few probe kills there. And let's have a look at the total. So 18 probes have been killed in this game, yet still 39 probes are working, which is higher than the 29 NMrUUGs. But it looks like Puma's going to try and crawl around here. It looks like Titan did have the Stalker on the Odnoklassniki, so he knows exactly where Puma is. He's just looking for an angle, but the Marine count just hasn't stopped growing. It's at 53, but the Robotics Bay is now finishing. If he can somehow squeeze out another Colossus also, or a single Colossus. Banshees, though, doing more work to the natural area and do get even more probe kills. They've gone up to 21 now, but he can't afford to lose these Banshees.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to do that. Throwing them against Stalkers doesn't make a huge amount of sense. He backs off there.
He's going to go for it. He's going to jump in.
Here he goes, and the point defense drone is up and takes the majority of the fire there, but the Immortals are going to melt so fast against those Marines. He can't get to the tanks. He can't reach them, and as a result, Titan takes a huge blow.
Yeah, I don't know really what he was looking to do there. I think he should have just waited and caught Puma out of position. Now Puma has complete position on Titan, and he may have just thrown this game away. He retreats with force fields, and all of a sudden Puma just looks like he's going to take this no problem now.
That was not wise. It really, really was not. Yes, okay, fine, setting the Immortals to tank the damage, but he threw it into 40-plus Marines, and he wasn't able to get range on the tanks.
Yeah.
So they got just
tanks
drawn
were
in.
sieged, the Immortals at the front, the Zealots were at the back. It was just an overall disgusting engagement from Titan. And even though he's got that Colossus tech, he can't afford to build a Colossus. And
here come the SCVs. Yeah, Puma's going to go for this one. He knows this is one base right now, pretty much all in, and honestly, it's most likely going to succeed. I don't see a way for Titan to defend against this.
Yeah, that's pretty much the summary of this game. Slowly, I mean, I guess if Puma's caught out of position with all tanks unsieged, then maybe. But still, Banshee doing more harassment. This one, Banshee on the right side, 14 kills. Now the total is 45, man. He just destroyed the economy behind the scenes there as we were looking at the positions. And I am really feeling more Banshees in the main base as well for Puma, and really is just controlling that flow of money and controlling the flow of the game now.
Banshees are a wonderful thing. Look at the probe count. It is devastating. This is most likely going to be the final engagement of this particular map, and there's no way Titan could survive it. It's simply not going to happen. A wonderful concave from Puma. The tanks lazily cruising their way in, and there's the GG.
Wow. GG indeed, and Titan does take game one. Looking a little bit more relaxed.